Hello, my friends. My name is Justice Knight, filling in for Lisa Haven. And what we have to cover today, Lisa and I had been discussing several projects that I have been working on. One of most importance was called Kairos. And if you think you understand the depth and depravity of the Orwellian demon machine that is surrounding us all, I am going to shed light on some things today that will change your perspective on the very world we live. And that is no overstatement in any way, shape, or form. But before we do, just want to introduce you to Trump Coin 2020. This coin right here, you've seen Lisa talk about it. This is an amazing investment for the future, a vehicle of barter if necessary. You'll see the website here on your screen. Trump Coin 2020. This is 99.99% silver, an amazing investment in our future, a great gift, and just again, someday when everything turns off, we're going to need those things to barter, and this is one of those amazing vehicles, so please check it out. But now we're going to move into our segment. You're all very familiar with the Black Vault, and I know Lisa's talked about it on our broadcast 100 times, the MK Ultra experiments and the depravity of what our government did. Well, the only reason I'm using this is because I want you to understand the facts behind what's released many years after it happens, because what we're about to talk about, the reality of which, when the full scope is released, I hope we all live through it to tell about it, because MK Ultra, the mind control, what they did to people to try to get into the minds of us. For what? For why? And what are they moving this technology towards? Just simple control of civilization? Well, they seem to have chosen a different path. But they still want, did you see this article that just came out? Tech that can read our minds takes a step closer. Just read the opening paragraph on this. Researchers in the U.S. have for the first time constructed intelligible synthetic speech using the computer processing of human brain activity. Long and short, as your brain's firing through the scanner, they can tell you the words that you would be saying and what you're thinking without you speaking a word, without moving your lips. Imagine the interrogation implications behind this. You can just ask me a series of questions, and by scanning my brain, you can tell what my responses are. Talk about the Orwellian horror show just starting. Well, that is just the tip of the iceberg of what they're doing to gain complete control of our civilization. So let's move on to our all allegedly dark DARPA, the Secret Government Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, which is not secret anymore. Although some of the projects they're working on, they would like you to think they are. Well, DARPA just crossed into the Minority Report, except this is real life. Now, here's the technical term: generating actionable understanding of real-world phenomena with AI. What does that mean? Here's what that means. That this is called Kairos. Kairos is a supercomputer in every way, shape, and form. And Kairos has the ability, will have the ability, because if you believe it doesn't exist already, that would be a very short-sighted thought. It has the ability to reach out into the Internet of Things, the IoT. The Internet of Things is every single electronic device, phone, Fitbit, car, anything that reports back to the internet, to take all that information and build a profile of what you're going to do, not today, not what you did yesterday, but what you're going to do in the future. That's what Kairos is designed to do. It's a threat assessment artificial intelligence. It is going to assess what threat you're going to be in the future. Allegedly, once again, all in this interest of national security and American safety. We're going to keep you safe by going after those nasty terrorists, or potentially nasty terrorists. No, Kairos is by far more devious than that. The article that came out And I always like to give credit where credit's due. DARPA proposes an AI that can monitor the entire world for threats. Do you realize the scope? It can monitor and take data from the entire world to assess where the next threat may be. Opening paragraph, DARPA already has a reputation as the mad scientist lab of the defense industry, even if they're trying to deny their work on metahumans or cyborgs. They are trying to deny it. But their previous project pale in comparison to the sheer scope of the newest artificial intelligence proposal, Kairos, short for knowledge-directed artificial intelligence reasoning over schemas. Schemas. Patterns that can lead to future actions. Do you like the thought of being in prison for what you may do in the future? That's what Kairos is going to bring the probability of. Imagine the globalist cabal control that would give if it was to target religion. It was to target who you would give birth to. If it was to target what political direction you might take in your future, because all of that is available on the Internet of Things. And don't worry if you need to feed it a little bit more, if it's not exactly sure who you are, if it's not exactly sure how you're going to age, because any of you who took the Facebook challenge of here was me 10 years ago, you just fed the machine an algorithm of how you're going to age, so it will know 20 years from now what you're going to look like. And if that's not bad enough, and facial recognition wasn't Orwellian enough to feed the Kairos beast, IBM hopes 1 million faces will help fight bias in facial recognition. 1 million images of what? And where did you get them? This is the beast we're feeding. The beast that's now in one part, one head, has a name of Kairos. Feeding, feeding, and feeding. And if you think you can hide, and if you think anywhere you go with this device allows you to hide, if you think that car you're in, because people say, I just won't take my phone. Well, are you in a car that's run by electronics? They're going to find you there too. And if that's not bad enough, there is now a private company. This just appeared on 60 Minutes not that long ago. Private company launches largest fleet of satellites in human history to photograph Earth. How many times will it take a picture of every square inch of Earth every day? Down to perfect clarity to the size of my fist. My fist to say, how dare you take my picture? It knows it's me, fed by the beast of facial recognition, down to the clarity, perfect clarity, down to this size from satellites and orbits, the largest fleet of satellites ever launched in human history. And guess what? Those images are for sale to the highest bidder. And you tell me they'll be able to secure those images. They'll be able to secure the images of whatever beast may target you and where you drove and where you go. And if it can't find you, don't worry. Those facial recognition cameras will find you. And if it doesn't know what you're thinking, don't worry. It will scan your brain and find out exactly where you're thinking you want to go. And if you tried to hide all that and you put foil everywhere and you got in your little blocks of privacy and you happen to put in to anything in the social media over the last 5 years, Kairos is going to predict what you're going to do wrong anyway. This is enslavement and entrapment to a degree that our human civilization has never seen. In the history of the world has there been such repression and such control and such a demonic system to stop us all in our tracks that we can't even escape this web anymore. It's spun around us so many times and we've allowed it through little steps to do it. And so Lisa asked me to come on this broadcast and get you up to speed on exactly what's happening. And they're going to weaponize it through the 5G network, because the 5G network is going to take all this data and it's going to feed Kairos at the speed of light. Because 5G, if you've heard about the cloud and all these cloud contracts and Amazon bidding on it and Bezos getting in trouble because there was insider information and Google saying, oh, we're not going to participate in it, but we might participate in it, and Microsoft saying, I want the cloud. Well, guess what? It's all useless rhetoric and banter because they don't need the cloud, because 5G will give instantaneous data to the beast of Kairos. It will give instantaneous data to any of the globalist cabal that want to find us and maybe repress our religion, repress our our voices, repress our political affiliations. This is the beast that we're feeding today. And that's why Lisa asked me to come here and get you up to speed on exactly how big, how large, how thick, how dangerous, and how demonic this web is. Then we are going to continue to build visibility so you're aware of everything happening around you. Once again, I hope if you haven't subscribed to my website at Justice Night, you will. I really focus in on technology and how this Orwellian beast is being built before it's turned on us. And there are so many things happening in our immediate future that we have to build awareness on. Lisa also asked me, and it is my honor and privilege to appear with her on Red Alert Radio. If you haven't downloaded the podcast, I certainly hope you will. You'll hear broadcasts of both of us together. You'll hear my broadcast. You'll hear her broadcast. You can find it on iTunes. You can go onto Android. Here's one other download for it, but no matter what you do, I hope you can continue, subscribe, get these messages. It's absolutely critical. And as I say at the end of my broadcast, and thank you again, Lisa, for allowing me to fill in, and thank each of you for allowing me to be here. Godspeed and God bless. Until next time, Justice Knight, signing out.